Hello, in this video I'll be discussing some common mistakes or issues in Logisim that you can fix. The first topic we're going to cover is blue signals. So whenever we see a blue signal, that's not a good sign in Logisim, or it simply means it's the signal value is unknown. We know that a dark shade of green is a logical 0 or low in Logisim, and a bright shade of green is a logical 1, as you can see here, the value of the signal. However, if we have a signal color other than that, such as a blue or red, this means we have an issue with our connection or with the simulation settings. So let's start with the first case here, which is the blue signals. I'm gonna zoom in. This helps me look at my connection clearly. And as you can see here, that's the very first obvious thing that I can see, that one of the inputs here is actually open. It's not connected to anything. I will click on the gate to check the settings of it. It has four inputs, so this is a 4-input AND gate. Before we begin with adjusting the connections of the circuit here, if you have a blue signal, you have to know that blue means the value of the signal is unknown. So this could be a cause of multiple reasons. The first reason is when the simulation is not enabled, meaning the output value, for example, here is not getting updated because the simulation is not really enabled. So think of this as like the power button if you have a proper hardware device that allows you to connect the circuit here. So we're going to go to the simulate menu and choose simulation enabled. As you can see, we have resolved the blue signal at the output. Now the output is known and it has a value equals to 0. But so when we did that, we solved one of the wires. We changed it to proper green, dark or bright, but we still have one unknown signal. So for this, what we're gonna do is try to move things around. This will help ensure that things are connected as we are expecting. So I'm gonna move wire or pin A, the input pin A. Pin B, it looks like it is connected to the wire at least. I'm gonna also move the output around, shift the gate itself to the right side a bit. This clearly shows that the input C is not really connected to where it should be connected. This blue dot is where I have to connect the third input of this AND gate. And this is where I should connect C. So I'm gonna drag a wire from C and then connect it to here. I'm gonna again repeat the same thing of moving things around just to ensure or organize the connectivity. Okay. So A, B, C are all connected as inputs to the gate. D is also connected, or the wire connected. This blue wire is connected as the 4th input. However, I still have a blue wire, meaning this wire is not known, and I intend on connecting it to D itself. So if D is 0, this wire should be 0. If you noticed earlier on, I moved things around and I only moved the pins A, B, and C, and I also moved Y and the gate itself, but I neglected to move D. See? D was not really connected to the wire, even though it looked like it was, especially if you have this zoomed out. The reason why it looks like it's connected, but it's not, is because in Logisim, if you click on a pin, if you click on a pin, one of the settings for it is the facing, meaning where this dot is facing. By default, the facing is east. Okay, so that means I have to make the connection through here directly, as I did with A, B, and C. So one way to resolve this is just to take a wire directly from this point and connecting it to where I want to connect it, I can just clean things up a bit or arrange the pins. Another way to resolve this is to, let me undo so we can see what we had earlier, is to rotate the pin or change the facing of it. So I'm going to click on the pin, change the facing to north. See? Now the connection point is located at the top of the pin. I can easily do the connection like that. Changing the facing is not required. You can still manage to do all the fixes that we just did without having to change the facing, but it can be useful depending on the arrangement of your components and the circuit that you're doing. So now we have resolved the issue of the blue signals. We're going to move on to the issue of red signals. Red signals are easier because they only mean one thing, which is having a conflict between values, meaning you're connecting a signal of value 1 to a signal of value 0. Okay, I'm gonna show you one thing here before we proceed. I will change the value of input M to 1. See, now L is 1, M is 1, there is no issue, there is no red wire because there is no contradiction here. I'm not shorting any signals. Okay. However, when one of them is different from the other, like let's change M to 0 again, this causes the wires, some of the wires to change to red, and red again means there's a conflict in the values. So to fix this, we're going to simply get rid of the short that's causing the contradiction here. I have to remove this wire in the back, but it's difficult to touch or to click on it or select it. For that, I'm gonna just move the gate itself slightly to the right. Don't move it up or down because it might cause more, this might cause more issues, so, like disconnecting K. So the solution is to move it slightly to the right. Now I can clearly see the short. I can simply click on it to select it, and then press delete from the keyboard. Okay, you can check if there is any other shorts by testing for all possible cases. This is an AND gate, so the output will be 1 when all the inputs are 1. Otherwise, it will be 0. So this is how to fix red signals or get rid of them in Multisim, in the software Logisim. If you have any questions, let me know through the comments below, or send me an email if you're my student.